Listen now, traveler of time and seeker of truth, for I shall tell you of the Hall of Ma'at, where no mortal tongue dares to lie, and where every soul must face its final measure. It is a tale as old as the Nile's waters, whispered by priests beneath temple walls, carved in stone to remind mortals of the path that awaits beyond death. When a man or woman drew their last breath and their body was wrapped in linen, their soul did not simply vanish like smoke on the desert wind. No, the soul journeyed to the underworld, through darkness and hidden gates, until at last it arrived at the Hall of Ma'at, the great hall of truth and order. Imagine it, vast and echoing, pillars rising like the trunks of stone papyrus, ceilings painted with stars that shimmered with eternal light. Here sat Osiris, lord of the afterlife, upon a throne of gold and green stone, his crown tall and white, his skin dark as fertile soil, and his eyes judging yet merciful. At his side stood Isis the motherly, her wings wide, and Nephthys the silent mourner, keeper of shadows. Before them, Anubis, the jackal-headed god of the dead, guided each trembling soul into the chamber. The heart of the departed, yes, the very heart. For to the Egyptians it was the seat of memory, conscience, and character was placed upon the scales of justice. These were no ordinary scale. One side bore the heart, heavy or light with the weight of a life lived. The other side held a single feather, the feather of Ma'at, goddess of truth, harmony, and cosmic balance. Here was the great question. Did the heart weigh heavier than truth? Had the soul spoken lies, committed injustices, lived with greed, cruelty, or dishonor? Or had it walked in balance, speaking true, acting with compassion, honoring the gods and respecting the order of the world? But hear this before the scales tipped. The soul was not left voiceless. It stood before the 42 judges of Ma'at, divine assessors who knew every secret crime, every hidden deed. The soul spoke the negative confession, I have not stolen, I have not slain, I have not spoken falsehoods, I have not polluted the river, I have not turned away from the hungry, I have not raised my voice in anger without cause. One by one, the denials flowed like a chant, a desperate hymn to innocence. Each confession was not merely a denial, but a declaration of how one ought to live. A reminder that truth was not just an afterlife demand, but the law of earthly existence. Then Anubis, solemn and silent, touched the scale. The beam quivered, the pans shifted, all eyes turned to Thoth, the ibis-headed scribe, who held a long tablet and reed pen. Thoth recorded the judgment without error, for he was the keeper of divine record, the witness of eternity. And there, beside the scales, lurked a beast of dread, Amit, the devourer. She was part lion, part crocodile, part hippopotamus, the three deadliest creatures known to the Nile. Her jaws dripped hunger, her claws twitched in anticipation. If the heart proved heavier than truth, weighed down by falsehood and sin, it was flung to Amit. With a snap of her jaws, she devoured it whole, and that soul was erased, condemned to the second death obliteration. No rebirth, no memory, no name upon the lips of the living. But if the heart was light as the feather, if balance was found, then joy awaited. Osiris smiled, and the soul was led into the eternal fields of Aru, the field of reeds, where the Nile's waters ran clear, where grain grew tall, where families were reunited in peace. There the soul lived forever, plowing the divine fields, feasting at golden tables, basking in sunlight unbroken. Think on this, traveler. The weighing of the heart was not merely a tale of what lay beyond death, it was a mirror for life itself. The Egyptians believed that each action, each word, each kindness or cruelty clung to the heart like unseen weight. To live falsely was to burden one's own soul. To live truthfully, to honor Ma'at, was to walk light and unbound. For Ma'at was not only a goddess, but a principle, the invisible law of the cosmos. She was order against chaos, justice against tyranny, balance against greed. To live outside her law was to invite Isfet chaos, disorder, the unraveling of the world itself. The pharaohs themselves swore to uphold Ma'at, not only with rituals and temples but by governing justly, for their failure would tip the balance of the land. So, when you hear of the scales, do not think it a distant myth of ancient stone and long-dead kings. Think of your own heart. Each choice you make, each truth you speak or hide, each kindness or cruelty you sow, adds weight or lightness. And when your final day comes, as it comes to all, perhaps you too shall walk into that great hall of shining pillars. Perhaps you too shall stand before Osiris, before the judges, before the feather of Maat. And then, traveler, your heart shall tell its tale. Will it tremble with heaviness, burdened by lies and cruelties? Or will it rise like the feather, light with truth, glowing with harmony? This is the eternal question, the riddle of the scales, the myth that binds the living and the dead. So live now with wisdom, live in balance, walk in Maat,